If you are a beginner in fashion designing, this class is best for you because it is basics, right? We are going to be making blouses, okay? Blouses, shirt that has button in front with tie and all of that kind of design. But first of all, you have to know how to draft your basic bodies, right? So I'm going to be showing you how to draft your basic body alongside knowing how to draft a shirt blouse with front button. That is what we are learning in this class. If you are here, please give a thumbs up, say hello so that I can acknowledge you. All right, much further ado, we are just going to go straight to the business of the day. So these are some of the fabrics that we'll be using to create those styles. They're actually corporate blouses, okay? We're going to be using chiffon fabrics. I have others, you know, on the inside to make this blouses. So for today, we are just going to be doing the drafting, and then we are going to make a sewing tutorial behind the cameras and upload the videos, okay? So the first thing I want to consider in drafting this body is the length of my blouse. So the length of the blouse for this project is going to be 26 inches, right? And then we'll go ahead to add 1.5 inches to it for seam allowance at the bottom. So I'm just going to measure 26.5 inches, and then we cut off the remaining pattern paper. So this is my 26.5 inches, right? This is going to be the length for the blouse. No, did I say 26.5 inches? The length for the blouse is 26 inches plus 1.5 inches. That will give us a total of 27.5 inches. I'll just go ahead to make it 28 inches, right? And we always say it is better to be safe than to be sorry, meaning better to have a bit of excess fabric than to have shortage of fabric, okay? So we are doing 28 inches for the length of the blouse. So this is our length. I'm just going to square this up right about now, and then I will go ahead to cut off the so we are going to be drafting the front and the back panel together at the same time. Follow keenly. There is so much for you to learn in this class. All right, I'll just go ahead to cut this out. So that is it. Sorry. So the next first thing I'm going to be considering after getting the length of our blouse is the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, the blouse or the blouses, because I'm going to be using this very pattern, you know, to make like 3 different kinds of blouses, right? So the blouse is going to be having a button on the front, right? So we have to take that into consideration. Don't forget, I said we are cutting the front and the back panel together at the same time. So I'm going to be taking away 2 inches for the front button. So you can either do 2 inches, 2.5 inches, 3 inches, and then some people also do 1 inch, okay? But I'll rather just stay with 2 inches, all right? So I'll just take away 2 inches. So right now, this is the center front of our blouse, okay? This ruler is measuring 2 inches. That is why I am just using it straight up instead of using my tape rule. So let me confirm that for you to see. You see, it is exactly 2 inches. So I haven't taken away my button allowance for the front blouse. I'm just going to fold this in. Remember, I said we are drafting both the front bodies and the back bodies together, okay? If you are finding value in this tutorial, please go ahead to give a like, a thumbs up, and do how to follow this page. Whilst at 8, don't forget to ask your question. It is extremely very imperative for me, all right? So I have taken my button allowance into consideration. I have folded it in. The reason why I folded it in is because we are drafting the front and the back bodies together, okay? So the next thing we are going to do is to take our neck width and neck depth measurements, all right? So for the neck width, okay, the neck width, right? This is the width, and then this is the depth. I'm going to be using 2.5 inches for my neck width. 2.5 inches. Okay, this is for the neck width. Then the neck depth for the back panel, I'm going to be using 0.5 inch. You can go ahead to use 0.7 inch, which is 3/4 of an inch, or also use a 1 inch. But the reason why I want to use a 0.5 inch is because I want my shirt to hug my neck properly, because I'm going to be putting a tie round about that area. I want it to sit firm and sit very pretty and nice around my back neck area. Okay, so I'm going to be using a 0.5 or a 0.75 for my neck width for the back panel. And then for the front panel, I am going to be using a 2.5 inches for the depth, the front depth, neck depth. Okay, I'm going to be using 2.5 inches. All right, so I haven't taken this into consideration. I'm just going to use my marker and nicely mark this out properly. So this is for the back depth, right? And then this now is for the front depth neckline. Okay, so we've gotten a neckline for both the front and the back panel. The next thing we are going to do right now is to measure our shoulder divided by 2. So the shoulder for this project is 15 inches. I'm going to go ahead to divide that by 2. So when you divide 15 by 2, you're going to be having 0.75 inches, and then I'll go ahead to add a 0.5 inch to it to make it a total of 8 inches, right? So this is it. After doing this, the next thing we are going to do right about now is to take our armhole measurements. Okay, that's the next thing. So the armhole measurements for this project, don't forget, how do you determine your armhole? It is by dividing your bust into 6 plus 1.5 inches. So for instance, if your bust is 40 inches, for instance, I said you're going to divide the 40 by 6, and then whatever you got, you go ahead to add a 1.5 inches to it. It will give you a proper armhole length measurement. Okay, so for this project, we are going to be using 7.75 inches. That is 7 inches, 7.75 of an inch. But I will just approximate it to 8 inches. Okay. After approximating it, I'm going to take my shoulder slope into consideration. My shoulder slope is 1 inch. I'm going to add it to give me a total of 9. How be it? We are still going to come up here to deduct our 1 inch for our shoulder slope. Okay. So this is 9 inches. I'll just bring my tape rule here to confirm my back measurement. It is accurate. So I'm just going to square this line up with a straight rule and then give it the L shape. Just like this. It is a very simple tutorial. Okay, this is how to draft a basic bodice. All right. So I'm going to come up here right about now to take my shoulder slope, which is 1 inch, and connect it to my neckline. Just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to look for the midpoint of my armhole by placing my tape. Don't forget, it is 8 inches that we use, and this is 8 inches. So the midpoint for this is 4 inches. So on that 4 inches, I'm going to come in by 0.5. So right now, I am trying to create the armhole for my front bodies. Okay. The armhole for the front bodies is a little different from that of the back bodies. We are trying to avoid some form of excess fabric around this area. Okay. And then I'll connect to that 0.5 and take it, bring it up like this. Like this. And then for the back armhole, I'm just going to place my ruler like this. That is regular. And then connect it. So this is for the front panel. And then this is for the back panel. Don't forget, you're cutting them separately when it is time. So I haven't done that. The next thing we are going to do is to determine our bust points, waist points, and then the length of the blouse. So the bust point for this project is 12 inches. Okay, so I am just going to get my 12 inches. I'll go ahead to add a 0.5 to it to make it a total of 12.5 inch. The waistline for this project is 16 inches, okay, which is the half length. 16 inches. So I'll go ahead to add the 0.5 to make it a 16.5, right? And then this already was cut out is the length of the blouse. Okay, So I'll just replicate the same points here and then do a connection like this: 12.5, 16.5, and then I'm going to nicely connect it with a straight line. Okay, like this, and then like this. So right now this is the bust line and this is the waistline, which is a half length line. All right, and then this is the length of the blouse. It is very simple and very easy. Okay, so we are going to input our bust measurements. The bust measurement for this project is 38 inches. 38 inches divided by 4, you are going to be having 9.5 inches. So I'll go ahead to add a 0.5 to that 9.5 inches for ease. That will give us a total of 10 inches, and then I'll add 1 inch to it for seam allowance. Don't forget, it's a chiffon blouse. We don't need too much. So we have a total of 11 inches. All right, and then the waist measurement is 32 inches. 32 inches divided by 4, it will give you 8 inches plus 0.5 for ease, 8.5 plus 1 inch for seam allowance, that's 9.5. And then for this down part of the blouse, which happens to be, of course, the hem of the blouse, we are going to be using our hip measurements, because using 26 inches, it automatically means that the length of the blouse is going to get somewhere around your hips. So you need to use your hips to get the measurement of that part so that it can nicely fit into that part of your body. So the hip for this project is one moment please, I'm trying to get it. All right, so the hip for this project is 42 inches. 42 inches divided by 4, you should have 10.05, 10.5. So go ahead to add 0.5 to it. That will make it 11 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. That will make it a total of 12 inches. Okay, right. So we are just going to nicely connect this curve, this point, like this. Hope you see what I'm doing. And then like that. So guys, we have successfully drafted a basic body. The only thing that is left is that, and then a bit of alteration to give us the shape of the blouse that we require. Now, if you are making a free blouse, okay, you don't want that waist shape to be there. You just want it to be totally free. You don't need to connect to your waistline. As a matter of fact, you don't need to measure your waistline. All you need to do is to connect from your bust down to your hip. This is one style of a blouse, okay, like this, just like this. So it gives you that freeness around your body. All right, good. And then if you want the shape of your blouse to be curvy around the side, all you need to do is to come up with by 2 inches. This is totally dependent on you. You determine how curvy you want that area to be, and then you connect it like this into the hem. All right, but if you don't want this curve around the side, you can just leave it straight. Okay, that is 1. 2, there is another style of blouse. If you want to add elastic around the bottom area so that it's a bit fluffy around the bottom area, okay, you don't need this curve. You don't need this curve at all. As a matter of fact, we have to add 2 more inch to your length allowance. That 2 more inch will accommodate the casing for the rubber band that you are attaching to the bottom part of the blouse, and then it gives it that fluffy effect around the bottom. But if it is just a regular blouse, it's not having elastic at the bottom, okay, this is perfect. So you determine how you want the waist area to be. If you want it to be a little fitted, or you want it to be straight to give you that fluffy effect. Is there any question? Please ask your question, because we are almost done with this. The only thing that is remaining So you can also, you know, shaping this area so that it looks more realistic, and then not having this pointiness around this area. Do you understand? It's not having this pointiness around this area. Okay, so basically this is it. And now if you want a DRADT, okay, I'm just going to show you how to incorporate a DRADT, but I am not going to be using a DRADT for this blouse. It's chiffon blouse, and as such we don't add DRADTs. Okay, but if you want to do a DRADT, this is how to go about your DRADT. This is the bust line, the bust point. You just come, you divide your bust span by 2. You know what a bust span is? Some other people call it nipple to nipple. You divide it by 2. So whatever you have, you will add a 0.5 inch to it. So I'm just going to use 4 inch for this bust span. Okay, 4 inch. All right, this is my 4 inch. Okay, and then on the length of the blouse, I am going to come up by 3 inches or 4 inches like this. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my 4 inch for my DRADT as my bust span for my DRADT leg, and then I'm going to connect it like this. Okay, this is if you want to incorporate a DRADT into your. Hey guys, it's like my marker is getting finished. I'll just use a pencil. Hope you guys will see properly. Okay, so this is much better. So this is the waistline, right? You're going to come down from your bust point by 1 inch. So the reason why you have to come down from your bust point by 1 inch is to prevent pointiness around your bust point. But if you have your French curves, okay, if you have your French curves, you don't need to come down by 1 inch, because the French curves just does the work perfectly well. So all you need to do is to deduct 0.5 inch from this part and 0.5 inch from this part. So I'm just going to do this for you to see. Okay, this is 0.5 and then this is 0.5. So I'm just going to use my ruler to connect it into my DRADT leg or my bust span line like this. Right, as you can see, it fell into the line properly. It's properly aligned. So I didn't need to come up by 1 inch or go down by 1 inch, because I could, you know, connect my lines properly. But if you cannot connect your line properly to align, you know, as one line, please come up by 1 inch and then also come down by 1 inch to prevent pointiness. Okay, so I'll just do this, replicate this again here. I will connect it here and then connect it here. So we have successfully incorporated our DRADT. So this is one way, one DRADT, which of course is a regular and basic DRADT. Okay, there is another DRADT, kind of DRADT, that you have to take, you know, around your bust, your side bust. So it is called a side bust DRADT. For dresses or for blouses such as what we are doing, I am going to be using a side bust DRADT. I'm going to show you that in a bit. So for a side bust DRADT, okay, this is a pattern. I already sealed this up, but I'm going to look for how to, you know, carefully open this up. I already sealed it up with glue. Okay, hope we'll be able to achieve this so that you can understand what I'm trying to say. So I don't think we can open it up, but I'll just use this to illustrate to you. For a side bust DRADT, let's assume this is our bust line. Okay, let's say this is our bust line, right? This is the bust line, just the way we have it here. Okay, just the way we have it here. I am just going to come down by 1 inch or 1.5 inch, depending. How do you get what to determine what to take away from as your side bust DRADT? Now, you know, our half length is 16 inches. What we use there is 16 inches, right? That is our half length. Okay, you are going to measure your back half length from your shoulder to your waist. There is always a difference between the front half length and the back half length. The reason is because there is bust, there is, you know, you have bust, you have nono in front, but at the back you don't have boobs. So there is every probability that it will be reduced. So when you measure your front half length, whatever you have, you write it down. Then you go to the back, you measure from your shoulder to your waist. So if your front half length is 15, your back half length should be like, if your front half length is 16, your back half length should be like 15 or 15.5, right? Or even 14.5. It depends on how deep your waistline is at the back and how protruded your back area is, and or there's always that difference of either 1 inch, 1.5 inches or 2 inches. So when you measure that, whatever you have at that point is what, okay, is what you are going to now bring here. So if you add 1.5 inch as the difference between your front half length and your back half length, you will come to your bust line, impute your front half, you impute that difference, and then you will connect it into your that leg, which is of course your nipple to nipple line. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? If you do not understand, please go ahead to ask your question. Okay, so this is it. Okay, let's say this is the side bust. That is it. Okay, now this that you have deducted, what I'm teaching is, you know, I'm trying to put everything together in one class. All these are not supposed to be one class. Okay, so when you impute this now, you will cut it and then you will close it up. I have taught how to close up a dart on this page. If you are lost, please go to our YouTube channel. You will see detailed tutorial on our YouTube channel. Bring yourself up to speed with it. Okay, it is very important, very, very important. You know, we can't teach everything in one class. Please, when I drop video, go to YouTube and watch Fashion Boss Innovation on YouTube. We have detailed tutorial. When we are drafting bustier, we have a lot of bustier classes on that channel. Bustier classes, we've done a lot of this on our bustier classes, a lot of free tutorials on that channel. Please go there and watch, because we cannot exhaust a lot of teaching just in 120 minutes or 30 minutes class, please. So basically, this is just a little way I can explain how to get a size bust that close it up. Please go there and watch when I follow this page so that you can see everything we are doing here. It is very, very imperative. Okay, all right, so basically this is it. Okay, this is how to draft a basic bodice. So like this, now we are going to cut this out and then transfer it into our fabric. Okay, we'll first of all cut the back neckline, all right, like this. We'll first of all cut the back neckline, so I'll just do this. And then first of all cut the back armhole, and then once we are done cutting back panel, we'll transfer it to our fabric and then do the necessary alteration we need to do before transferring it to our cutting out our front panel. So the way this is right now, this is our back neckline. Okay, these are back bodies. We'll place it like this on our fabric without opening this place. So this is for the front panel. We'll place it like this on our fabric and then cut out. So after cutting this out, we will now open it. Okay, we will now open it, extend this line to get here like this, cut out the front neckline, and then place it on our fabric and cut out the front panel. Don't forget, if you want this shape around the side, please cut this part out. Okay, make sure you cut it out. But if you don't want it, leave it like that. It totally depends on what you want. On this note, we have successfully come to the end of today's tutorial. Please go ahead to ask your questions. From your questions, we will know if we should do more tutorial based on this. All right, thanks for coming around. Love you guys. See you guys in the next tutorial. I'm going to do the rest and upload the video. So guys, thank you and bye bye for now.